ain't nobody two-way. Man, speaking of taking it back, got your boy Mandoo,
Big
Jim
bro,
Jump.
man, too. Mandoo Warrior, the big bro.
You know what I'm saying? So Mandoo made his appearance on Matt Hopper. You know what I'm saying? Talking about some things. I ain't never been flagged by Math, so should be good. The word is the word is origin, not origination. Origin. But continue.
You know, this is a nigga
See
that
it going
snuck
now.
niggas because he started losing the rap battle. So,
Let's welcome Mandoo.
Yo, this nigga been on paper longer than ink, nigga.
yeah, tell this nigga, man, do different, nigga.
Yo, bro, you gotta think about it. There's ink that won't stay on paper for 58 years,
Bro, listen,
40
when
years,
I
like
met that, listen,
47.
when I met that nigga was 40 years old and on the run from parole, bro.
Yeah, he was telling me yeah, that you met that nigga, he was on time.
Yeah, that's my nigga, man. Big bro,
Shout
wild.
out.
That's my nigga.
He said Stackstone.
Hmm.
Oh, okay. Figured that.
Yeah, he told. Yeah, he told.
That nigga said he Panther race.
Yeah, man do push. Now, I mean, he push knowledge, but man do also push the bullshit. And the bullshit come real fast with it. What's your
Push
saying?
pain.
Yeah, what's your saying? The distance and the shit between your thought and shit.
Oh yeah, the distance between my thoughts and my actions is a short ass walk.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll think some shit and do some shit to you real quick.
Mm-hmm.
CG, what up, nigga? Shout out CG in the chat.
CG was good.
So I've always heard. I guess I've always heard it like both ways in a sense, like because on one end I hear the revolutionary part, but then on the other end, like I've heard niggas say, "Shit, bro, some niggas wasn't really on the revolution, my niggas. Like it's just like everybody couldn't be God body and everybody couldn't be NOI. You know what I mean? So the
Yep.
only thing like for niggas just in the streets, whether you was robbing niggas, you was hustling, whatever and shit was, you was then now to me, I just always looked at it as, gang shit in the sense of you're fighting other gangs. Like basically formed to combat other gangs because whether you feel like you're on some revolutionary shit or not, them niggas gang bang.
Fact.
You know what I'm saying? So once you're in a war for 20 plus years, 30 plus years with niggas who identify as gangs, like you haven't fought any like fought guerrilla groups you understand what I'm saying? Like none of this shit like to where you say, okay, like this is the revolutionary acting, like y'all ain't run the army out of, you know what I mean? Like so it
Uh,
just like kind of that's where the shit just get blurry to me. Cause you know me, bro. I don't believe like in any the only activist, and I don't even drink lean, but the only activist that I've ever really seen that work in the hood came in pints.
mm, Stupid.
But Like shit, he was there about George Jackson, BGF and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Now I could believe, that. See, my whole thing about it, I guess, one, I ain't do all that time, but even just the concept of being mentally prepared for prison because I was in the street and I knew that shit came with it. At no point did I ever feel. Look, I got indicted during an election year, and even at that point, I didn't feel like a political prisoner. I was just a nigga that got indicted, bro. Like,
Nigga that got caught up in the game.
you know what I'm saying? Like, I just charged it to the game. Like, okay, I do crime and shit like that. Niggas that do crime go to jail. Just try and get the, least amount of time without telling on nobody. That's it. Like, there's nothing else really to discuss this shit. Am I going to stay in the county jail or I'm going stateside? And most people would think, oh, you want to stay in the county jail. Like, bro, I'd rather do 3 years in the state than do a year in the county. I promise you I
Mm.
would. Like, I promise you I would. Because 3 years in the state, I could be practically invisible. That 1 year in the county and shit like that, I'm going to have to fuck somebody up and go to court for that shit in that county. You know what I mean? So I'm cool, bro. You know what I'm saying? The hardest part of the 4 months in the county, that shit wasn't dangerous. I was the danger to myself, like refraining from putting my hands on goofy ass niggas. Like that was my danger, like catching another charge in that bitch.
Sometimes
But
you gotta hit the nigga with a chicken bone, man. Fuck it.
in the bitch, shit,
Sometimes
crazy.
nigga got sometimes nigga gotta learn chicken more for just eating, nigga.
Handling beef with a chicken bone.
Handling beef with a motherfucking chicken bone, nigga.
Mhm. Job turkey.
Huh?
Oh shit. So that much is true. I mean, even on the West Coast, like there's a documentary and shit called Bastards of the Party. And it talks about like the Brim Streets, businessmen, all of these groups that eventually became Crips and Blood sets and all of this shit. But also, even on the New York side, when you have gangs like, the Black Spades and Savage Nomads and the Tomahawks and all of this shit, right? A lot of gangs were community based because they were actually community funded, right? So there's a story I heard about how the Black Spades provided security for the after school programs. You know what I'm saying? Like back in the day. So there was actual funding for the after school program. Then there was that actual budget for the security. And that budget would actually go to these neighborhood groups, which later became gangs. Because once there's no more community funding, what the fuck do niggas do? When the community funding leaves, everybody coming back from Vietnam and shit, street full of junkies and shit like that. Dope all fucking place or whatever. So what's a nigga to do? Shit, we got the numbers, we got the territory. Nobody hustle here but us. And then before you know it, you got anything. Because I mean, if you look, bro, I got pictures of the dude Akbar who was in the Miseducated Sonny Liston and shit.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was the real Tomahawk leader and shit like that. So I had gotten some pictures and shit of this nigga like Cadillac suited up, jewels, all this shit or whatever. So while like they show the images of these gangs, you usually see them with the like leather vests with the rockers and shit. Like they look like motorcycle gangs and shit. But there was a period that happened where these niggas got on some real superfly shit. Now
Hmm.
everybody make it. Some niggas got strung out and shit. Some niggas, did all right. But you know, that was really how the whole shit worked. It's like, yeah, they were community gangs and shit. They were protecting the community because they were community funded. Once they were no longer funded by the community, and then the community became full of junkies and shit, they got funded by the community in a whole nother way. Same gang, different mission now. You know what I'm saying? Like
That's all.
that's it. So I
Yeah,
mean,
different
yeah, all of
motherfuckers.
that shit had this root, but shit, it was criminal longer than it was revolutionary. I mean, at a point,
Yeah, because once they hit the street, that's when it turned into something else. So I mean,
yeah. And then the niggas who wanted it to stay in the street had too much money and power and shit. And it's the whole thing. Like, I put it like this: the reason I never really just got into the activism shit, like, or I never really bought into it, was, you know, niggas tell me all this shit, and then it's kind of like that Murder Mook team in the battle with Luke with Lux. He's like, nigga, tell you all this like peace God shit. He should be like, yo,
yeah,
you got $5 I can borrow?
yeah, you got a cigarette guard. The fuck out of
You got $30 so I can pay my phone bill.
here. You got $30. I can pay my phone bill. Keep it between us.